Hello everyone and welcome to Music Lessons with Mr. Mozart.
Hey, I think you mean music lessons with Mrs. Morris.
Oh yes, of course, but since Mrs. Morris is away on holiday, I thought we could change things up a bit.
Absolutely not, Mozart. Stop this foolishness. We haven't got all
And
day.
neither do our viewers, so let's get started.
Okay, welcome to Music Lessons with Mrs. Morris. Now, Mrs. Morris is not here today, so Ludwig, Franz, and I are here to introduce you to the greatest composers of the classical period.
And I can't think of a better group of composers to share these stories than the three of us, right, Beethoven?
I guess. Can we get started now?
Now hold on. What makes you think you are the best?
Well, we are the most talked about, the most celebrated.
Probably even the most played. I mean, if there's a piano around, somebody is bound to play Beethoven's Für Elise.
Stop! Even I'm getting tired of hearing that.
The three of you are very talented, but I think it's time we learn about some other very talented composers.
And who do you suggest?
Me, of course.
And who do I presume you are?
Why, I'm Cecilia Maria BARTHELEMON.
Bartella who?
Barthelемon.
Then you remember me.
How could I forget? You dedicated some of your compositions to me. Well, I, for one, am interested in hearing Cecilia's story.
Well, where do I start?
Oh, how about you start at the very beginning?
That's a very good place to start.
Hello, I'm Cecilia Maria BARTHELEMON. I was born in September of 1767 in England. Both my parents were musicians. My mother was a singer and composer, and my father was a violinist and singer too. There was music to be heard in my house most every day. At a very young age, I learned to play the harpsichord, piano, organ, and the harp. I also learned to sing just like my parents. My parents made their living touring many places in Europe, like Germany, France, and Italy. I was only 12 years old when I began singing on the tour. My debut song was an Italian duet that I sang with my mama.
I thought you said you were a composer.
Be patient, Beethoven. I'm getting there. My composing career began in 1786 when I published my first composition. I was only 19 at the time. This was quite an accomplishment because many women of the time were not taken seriously when it came to being a composer. My debut was a volume of 3 sonatas for the pianoforte or harpsichord. I dedicated these compositions to Her Royal Highness Princess Sophia Matilda.
Did you write anything else?
I also wrote 4 sonatas. In fact, in 1794, I published the Sonata for Pianoforte or Harpsichord, Opus 3, which I dedicated to Papa Haydn.
I remember that. Such a witty and whimsical piece. It reminded me a bit of my early compositions.
Well, your music had a big impact on me as a musician and composer. Do you remember on your visits to my parents' house when you would sit down at the pianoforte and accompany me while I sang your canzonettas?
Oh, yes. They are very good memories.
I think we are all getting a little distracted. Can we move on, please?
Yes, Cecilia, this is all well and good, but what else did you compose?
Well, my last piece was published in 1795. The capture of the Cape of Good Hope for the pianoforte or harpsichord, concluding with a song and chorus.
That is quite a title.
And for good reason. This is a battle sonata that I wrote for England when they won the victory at the Cape of Good Hope.
I've heard of that piece. Such a delightful tune. Well, gentlemen, I do think we have ourselves another fine composer of the classical period. Would you agree?
Why, yes, I do. How about you, Beethoven?
I guess so. Now, can we get back to making our video?
Actually, our time is up. But if you want to learn more, just visit my channel.
Don't you mean Mrs. Morris's channel?
Okay. Just visit Music Lessons with Mrs. Morris, and you will find many more music history videos. Don't forget to subscribe.